You just got weaseled. We are building a weasel army, all right? That's Rashid. Ethan Klein, what do you think of this? You should probably think stupid, sexy Rashid. What is this?
Sir, he hates me because he's so pro-Palestine. Just a friendly reminder, when I did a fundraiser raising 100,000 for Palestine, Hassan, the guy who you want to suck off, donated 5,000 to that. So you're talking... there's just layers of cringe. Like, I don't even know where to begin with this dude.
Well, okay, to be fair, Hassan did that to snark me. I mean, it was helpful.
Whatever the reason,
yeah.
He's, he like, what, why are you sending this to me? Like, what? Sir, he hates me.
I think it's, what is this? Oh, is this Bad Empanada? Oh, no, he's talking to Mike. No one is afraid of him who is normal. I asked, I did send it. Oh my God, I can't read. Did send it to AB because I wanted him to prove he's constantly trolling the internet to send things to Ethan. He's a good dog, says Mike from PA. Ethan Klein is the Nicki Minaj of YouTube. Wow, that got some likes. He's apparently retweeting an anti-Semitic account that attacked Mike from PA. He found out that Taylor Lorenz follows Jake Chinatown, and he got mad about that. I'm trying to find the one that's about. Oh, look at that! I reposted this one. This one was too funny not to repost. Right? Shouts out to whoever this is, Timmy, Time1KC. Hopefully, you're not. You don't have baggage. Because if you do, I'm going to hear about it from Ethan Klein stands. Oh, here we go. Here it is. Okay, so they're reposting. Ethan Klein is reposting something from Reddit. Ethan has officially asked the judge for permission to subpoena Reddit and Discord for the identities of the H3 Snark mods. Wouldn't it be funny? The judge here has the chance to do the funniest thing ever. Absolute banger if the judge decided to just deny him that discovery. If the judge saw through what he was doing, in other words, and was like, nah, I'm not going to help you, docs. I'm not going to help you, docs, Ethan. Anyway, this is the documentation. The official legal proceedings here. Bongino. Okay, so I don't know much about this streamer, but they've got a video on this. I don't think we're going to agree with them, but I'm going to disagree with them in an interesting way. Let me just put it that way. I think this is a law tuber too, LUS. My name is Tony. I retired at 36. I unretired at 38 to start a copyright law firm combat copyright abuse on YouTube. Ooh, motivated reasoning. Conflict of interest much. Patent attorney specializing in patents, trademarks, copyrights, intellectual property. I work pro bono for free on immigration. Well, good for you. You work for free on immigration cases in Houston, Texas. Graduated at NYU with honors and a BS in biology. I passed the patent bar exam when I was 21. Worked for the largest Chinese intellectual property law firm. Graduated William and Mary. Which, look, if you're an economist, an economics student, like, this is hella sus, right? I don't know about the law school. Licensed lawyer in New York State. I own 2 startups in Humble, Texas, which is near Houston, Texas. Run Rex, an online marketing agency specializing in SEO and Google Ads, and Umu, Pokemon Magic the Gathering. Oh my God, what the fuck? This is Lewis. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't get that this guy is like a altogether bad dude, but like some of his reasoning really struck me as, well, you'll see.
So first off, let me begin with a story. I went to William Mary Law School. In my first year, I had the most famous First Amendment professor. like ever. His name was William Van Austin, rest in peace, a genius in the First Amendment, and perhaps had he lived longer, he would be on the Supreme Court today. He's highly regarded as the best First Amendment professor, which is freedom of speech. So I had him for constitutional law 2. And instead of actually teaching us constitutional law, he spent the entire time talking about the First Amendment. And the main takeaway was there are always people, and there are in many, many countries with dictatorships, repressive governments. The first thing they do is they take away your freedom of speech. And they don't take it all away at one time. They take it step by step by step.
Mm-hmm.
And unless you fight for freedom of speech and you fight for the right to say what you want to say, it will be taken away from you. There are many, many historical examples of the corrosion of this right. That being said, on the flip side, I think what puts me in a unique position relatively to other content creators here is I am a dad. And I understand that there is no worse feeling in the world than when anonymous people attack your family.
Okay. Now, yeah, if somebody, like, I don't know, if somebody doxed your family member, that'd be horrible, right? If somebody, even just sent like hate towards one of your child's accounts, and they were like, your dad is blah, 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 right? I could see some things being attacking your children. However, as a non-parent, I have noticed a lot of parents classifying, Ethan Klein being the foremost, classifying things that are not an attack on your child at all, that might even be someone taking an action in their mind to benefit your child's welfare, as an attack on the child, when in fact it is an attack on Ethan Klein. And when he does that, that is him using his children as a fig leaf. That is him using his children as human shields, not beating the pro-IDF allegations, right? With the use of your children as human shields there, Ethan. So I'm a little bit wary already. I got to be completely honest. I'm a little bit wary. I understand. But if this is like your excuse for usually I think of things logically and ethically as a lawyer and legally, but in this case, I'm going to throw all that to the wind because I am a father bear and somebody has threatened my cubs. That's fucking bullshit, dude. That's fucking bullshit. You can't use that to get around ethics that you claim to have. Either you have the ethics. Did you ever cover his fucked up colonizer tattoo? Wait, Ethan's the tattoo with the watermelon?
And you have children. So I'm talking about Ethan Klein and Hilla Klein. There are, Hassan, I believe Hassan is single, right? Or not, at least he doesn't have kids. So that's just...
All right, another thing I'm not putting up with, another thing that I'm not putting up with is a JD Vance type argument where it's like, you don't have kids, you are not worthless, you are worthless, you are not a real person, right? Not putting up with that shit. You don't know shit because you don't have kids yet. Not putting up with that shit. We all have different lives. We all have different perspectives. I am not anti-natalist. I do not hate people who bring children into this world, but I do truly detest people that think that they are better or somehow know more for having done that. And especially when the knowledge that they've gained is how to circumvent their own moral code, which Lust is about to show us. And my fucking, sorry chat, I'm having I'm freezing.
Children. Denon doesn't have children. Froggen, I do not believe has children. Casey.
So first of all, you don't know. Second of all, you're probably right that none of these people have children. And so let's be real clear of what this guy's claim to greater knowledge through being a father is yielding, right? It's allowing him to say that he believes in freedom of speech, but maybe not when it comes to this area. And furthermore, chat, it's allowing him to sign off on group punishment for everyone who dislikes Ethan because someone somewhere saw Ethan Klein's fucked up tirade about how he turned his family into the human centipede. How the Giardia traveled from the dog to the baby to him to Gila, etc., and got worried. I'm sorry, that's not necessarily anybody attacking your children. I can't say it's 100% not, though, right? People do weaponize things like, you know, as from behind anonymous accounts, people do weaponize things against content creators, right? So is there some chance that this person was like, yeah, the children aren't in danger, but I'm gonna call CPS just to fuck with Ethan and Hila? Yeah, I guess it's possible. But that's one person. And you don't know who that person is. And you don't even know if they're involved in Reddit. You're just making it oh, this is from Snark. Oh, this is very Snark-brained. You guys are in a fucking cult, okay? You're in a fucking cult. And you're letting your fatherhood, which, you know, you're letting your fatherhood short circuit your sense of morals and justice. And that's fucked up. You're letting your fatherhood, for the record, chat, enable you to support group punishment. Which again, not beating the pro-Zionist allegations, are we? Right? The IDF loves group punishment.
Ron doesn't have a child, right? There are many content creators that don't have children, so they're probably not going to understand what I'm going to say next. It feels really real. Like when you attack me online, it's not like it sucks, but I accept it because I put myself online. But when you attack somebody's children online, this is like a whole new level. So I get the subpoena, and I get that. Look, if somebody was trying to hurt your children, and what you were doing was fighting to protect them, okay, that's a you know, good in and of itself, right? That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about you believing Ethan's version of the story, which casts the blame on anyone to ever criticize Ethan. Every streamer, every chatter, every Redditor deserves to be doxxed, deserves to be harassed, deserves to be potentially killed, right? How do you know that's not someone's child on Reddit, asshole? How do you know that you're enabling Ethan to fight for his children and defend his children? You are not enabling him to attack someone else's children. Because yes, children do moderate subreddits. It's been known to happen. Believe, and I've made a video about this, that the target all along this entire time has been age-free Snark mods. Because out of everyone Ethan can assign blame to, it would be them.
You have short-circuited your brain, sir. You are not thinking logically. If you end up watching this, I invite you to re-listen to what you just said there and ask yourself, do you truly stand behind this illogical statement? Do you truly stand behind this? Is this who you are? Is this how, it's just your fucking brain power here? Like, do you really, oh my God, chat, I'm losing my shit here because I'm still struggling with the, I've got to kill some processes. Let's see what we can do. Task. Oh my God, it's going to take me 8 years to do this. Come on. Oh my God, really? This is awesome. Look at the H3 Reddit, for fuck's sake. It's modded by Ethan himself.
Ethan has been very public about wanting to expose their names from their family and friends and so on.
You sound like you're making an argument about that. Oh, he's been very public about that. No, he's not doing it under cover of dark, so it's okay. No, it's not okay. Group punishment is never fucking okay. Like, you get fucked with. You're claiming that his kids got attacked. I disagree with you. And look, Luz, if you want to come on here and talk to me, you can, but I'm going to make you watch Ethan's cringe fucking joke where he joked around about giving his whole family Giardia first. And I'm going to make you fucking explain that and tell me that that is not going to sound like a cause for concern about somebody's kids. Now, I happen to think that Ethan is a joker. He's a fucking, you know, I don't know, goofs and gaffs. I think the goofs and gaffs went a little bit too far. I hope that he did not have his kids crawling around on the floor eating dog shit. But that's what he said. And there's no way that you can expect somebody to be like, oh, they should know that Ethan wasn't serious. They should know that when Ethan's joking around about putting his kids in fucking danger, that he wasn't serious about that. You cannot say that you should know that. I want you to watch that tape and look at this jackass making a joke about exposing his fucking kids to pathogens. I don't think it's funny. I don't think, and this might piss you off, Lewis, I don't think that's responsible parenting. And I say this as a person who had some fairly irresponsible parents.
He's been very public of even offering, if you betray your fellow mods, I will offer you immunity and so on.
None of this.
So he's been
wait. None of this. None of this raises the red flag for you.
Apology and give them me the
that sounds reasonable to you?
Names and so he said that several times.
Pause. Thank you. That sounds reasonable to you? That doesn't sound like supervillain shit? Rat out your fellow mods on the subreddit, and I will give you immunity. Fuck you, Lewis. Fuck you for stating that as if it is not the obvious, tell that it actually is. You could tell the Giardia was a joke on complete lack of comedic timing. Horrified concern of the cast also indicated that it was very much a joke. Yeah.
From my own research, this is a critical move, right? Because if the judge agrees with Ethan and he's allowed to subpoena Reddit and subpoena Discord for people's private, I assume, IP addresses, which then will somehow be linked to a person's home, which then will be linked to a person.
And you're trusting that this is about serving people who have, I don't know, incurred liability, or people who have broken the law with a lawsuit. That's what you're saying, right? This is what it's for. I don't believe you, Luce. I think that this is very clearly for he's doxing people to have his community harass them, because guess what? The biggest snark on all of Reddit is H3. H3 is the biggest snark, all right? As far as talking about taking things too far, taking things offline, putting people's life in danger, doing fucking real world shit to people, that would be Ethan's fucking, that's what that's for him to send his fucking minions at these people, because he doesn't have a goddamn law case. He admitted it himself. When he bitched about, my lawyer can't do a goddamn thing. That's right. So you're going to have your subreddit harass people on your behalf because you're a scumbag. And Ethan, as I state more and more of the case, I start to realize that there is a real question. There's a real look. I don't want anybody ever, utilizing something like CPS or calling ICE on somebody or some fucking bullshit like that, right? Go in and fucking with somebody in real life because you don't like their content. That's fucking bullshit. You should never do that. Not for Ethan, not for Destiny, not for any of these scumbags, right? There is a line that's too far, for sure. God, what the fuck was I just saying?
Identity of these moderators who probably thought they were anonymous, and if they stuck together they wouldn't have anything to worry about, is absolutely not freedom of speech. But freedom of speech does have limitations, even in the US where it's very, very strong, and in other countries like South Korea, freedom of speech is not strong at all. We cover Sojang. It was a
Reddit already called his subreddit as a snark community. Yeah, basically said that his community was doing the same thing.
YouTuber, a South Korean YouTuber.
Look, let me just be real clear with this lawyer, right? So yeah, this begs the question, chat, about Ethan as a parent. I hate to say it, but it's true. I am definitely not asking for anybody to intervene, or I don't know, like, I'm just saying that as he goes along, he's making the case more and more and more that maybe, if there was somebody that was legitimately concerned about the situation that he's described where his kids were getting infected with Giardia and he was fucking blasé about it, maybe that person is not completely off base in the first place. Also, I gotta ask, what kind of lawyer endorses Kiwi Farm tactics? I'm sorry, but there's so much of, like, do you want to, you see what you're doing here, Lus? You're justifying in your disdain for people doing real world stuff to Ethan, like the, calling CPS, right? You are justifying Kiwi Farm shit. What kind of lawyer does that? The answer would be legal mindset, but maybe some of that shit has rubbed off on you, Luce. Because that's a pretty fucked up thing for somebody with so much. Look. I mean, this guy, like, these Reddit mods are anonymous or whatever. They're just on Reddit. They're doing their thing. They're running their subreddit or whatever. Lus is not, and potentially, and I say this not to encourage, anything, but to just drive home the fact that you're risking a lot. Your life sounds pretty fucking good, all right? And I don't know how this kind of shit, which sounds like you endorsing internet harassment, I don't know how this looks professionally. But I do know that everything about you is linked to that YouTube account, all right? Just think about it. Please understand, this is not a threat. I don't think that anybody should do anything to you. I think that you're massively wrong, but I'm very much against, taking this shit into the real world, whether it's against Ethan, whether it's against Redditors, or whether it's against you. But I want to make it real clear to you that the shit that you're endorsing here could very well come back to bite you. And I wouldn't be able to... I don't know. I mean, it would still be wrong, right? But you kind of like lose your... You lose your moral standing in endorsing Kiwi Farm shit like this. All right? You lose your moral standing should somebody decide to find out if, in fact, this kind of thing is a problem professionally for a copyright lawyer. All right? Please take that as not a threat, but as a warning. Because, you're a father, and I don't want your life to be turned upside down. All right. But please think about that you're signing off on turning Redditors who could be kids' lives upside down. Please recognize that. And please take this shit in the spirit in which I'm giving it. All right. I'm not coming at you with hate. I don't know you. You seem like an all right person, but the shit that you're saying, this is so off. And I really hope, Lewis, I really hope this isn't you. I really hope you'll take a second thought at all this shit and maybe reconsider what you're endorsing here, because this is a person, just chucking rocks in a very glass house. Okay, anyway.
YouTuber, probably is going to go to jail for 5 years because he made some defamatory statements to K-pop. Now, in America, I don't even think she would lose the case. And if she lost the case, he would just pay the fine and not go to jail. But in different countries, the freedom of speech is different, which makes sense, right? This subpoena is a very big step for Ethan to get what he eventually wants at the cost of... I think there is a cost to this, and the cost is people won't be as willing...
You think?
...to be moderators of these snark forums, and they won't be as willing to talk to each other, engage. I always think that it's better to engage with somebody, and I think it's always better for you to tell me your real feelings about me than for you to lie and say sugarcoat it. I'd much rather you be real. Even if you hate me, you're disgusted by me, you are allowed to have those opinions. Now, will this freeze freedom of speech on some place like Reddit and Discord? Yeah, absolutely, because those are places where the whole concept is that they're anonymous and no one will ever find out. My work won't find out. My family won't find out. I'm going to say whatever the hell I want to say. I'm going to attack this person relentlessly. I'm going to be online 24 hours a day just attacking.
I'm sorry, but you're completely in your emotions here. You are not thinking logically. You are not thinking rationally. And you are not thinking ethically. Like, this is wrong. And this is scary to hear from a lawyer, honestly.
And it feels different when you have a family than when I was single. So recently I had a daughter.
So that's all it takes to turn you into a fucking rabid Kiwi Farm chud. That's all it takes is having a child. And now the rules are different, and now morality doesn't apply. Like, you don't let Ethan's supervillain crash out turn into your supervillain crash out, all right? Like I said, Lewis, I like you. You seem like a good guy.
I was much more willing to accept the hate and the whatever came at me, but I will not accept that for my child, and that's where they stepped too far. Was the child protecting services.
Who hurt this guy? I don't think it's about trauma. I think he's parasocially bonded to Ethan Klein. I think he's a father just like me. Oh, he has dogs just like me. Like, I think it's actually kind of shit. I think this lawyer is doing some parasocial shit, and it's fucking cringe.
This is why I think Ethan's gone bonkers here, right? Like, and bonkers, and maybe not. We will see what happens with this case.
Wait, it's not bonkers if he successfully doxes these people? Then it's cool if the judge signs off on it? Or is that maybe not how morality works?
Why Ethan wants their names, because he views them as a danger to his children. Probably he'll have the same thing, or even more so. I totally get that. I completely understand. This is very different from Adam. Adam, I think, is a single dude. He has no kids, right? He's able to, he's a young dude, no kids. When they are trying to report him to ICE, that, in my opinion, is really, really bad. And it is over the boundary, but that's not as bad as reporting you to the Child Protective Services.
It's not. There was just an Irish tourist who spent months in incarceration on, I think, faulty charges of being undocumented. Like, you're talking about risking Adam dying in CCOT. Are you just politically ignorant to an absurd degree, or what? Do you not? Yeah. No, Ethan's in much more danger than Adam. Adam's, that's not seriously. If ICE comes and picks you up, you're a lawyer. Shouldn't you be standing for due process? ICE has left due process behind. Is he saying CPS is worse than ICE? Yes, that is exactly what he's saying. He's saying, parents uber alles. I don't know where this fucking shit comes from, but I know it sure as fuck isn't logical. I know it sure as fuck isn't ethical. And it's scary. It's scary that somebody can go from, sounding fairly reasonable to be like, oh no, but if you called the CPS, who called the CPS? Oh, that's right. We don't know. We don't know who called the CPS. But we're going to put that on everybody on Reddit. We're going to put that on Denims. We're going to put that on Frogan. We're going to put that on Adam McIntyre too, and justify his potential abuse, violence towards him, and maybe even being sent to a gulag in El Salvador based on this guy's feelings, his parasocial warm feeling for Ethan Klein and his family. That is just great. Does this guy have, that's what I'm asking. This guy's a lawyer. He's not only a lawyer, he's a lawyer that has attached his professional identity and his legal identity to his YouTube channel, right? And it just doesn't make sense that a person like that would be endorsing Kiwi Farms shit, because that is the glass house of glass houses. And I'm warning you, dude, please protect yourself, please. Like, you don't want to go there. You don't want to do this, right? This is not. You're putting yourself in a situation where you could experience major, financial and life disruption, and you wouldn't really have a leg to stand on morally as far as, well, these people did something, they crossed the line. You're justifying crossing the line right here. No one should cross the line, all right? No one should call, any CPS or anything on Ethan just because they disagree with his content. All right? If they think that there's a legitimate concern for the children, then, that's kind of on Ethan, right? Who put that out there? Ethan. But nobody should do this just like disingenuously, right? No one should call ICE on anybody, and no one should be trying to dox Redditors over the fact that somebody out there that doesn't like Ethan ostensibly called CPS, and you think they might have done it just because they don't like what Ethan has to say, right? Again, we don't know this. And there's a plausible possibility that this was somebody who heard what Ethan had to say and took him literally, took him seriously, and said, what you would say if you believed that he was telling the truth when he was talking about Giardia, that those kids are in danger, right? And CPS is not, there's a lot of problems with CPS. It ends up getting used to do a lot of what I think are unjust actions, but it does have a theoretical purpose, and that theoretical purpose is protecting children whose parents won't protect them. And we don't know. Who is the shithead again? Just another law tuber. Just another one of the legions of law tubers fucking grifting off of like fuck us on content. Just another one of these like legal mindset type dudes. To be honest, being a lawyer really just involves having the money and persistence. You can't pass exams. It's not like being a doctor, where there's a base. Yeah. You don't pass your classes in med school, and that's it. Even if you take a leave of absence that's longer than however long, that's it. No second chances.
That's like a whole nother level. And if you have a child, you will understand that level, because it's a completely different, a lot of things that I didn't really understand. When I was...
Wait, is it illegal to call, do you mean child CPS on somebody if you think there's a valid concern? No, it's supposed to be there. Look, I mean, it's a problematic organization, right? In that it usually gets weaponized against people, specifically people of low economic means. And a lot of times, you're more likely to lose your kids if you're poor, just like you're more likely to lose a lawsuit if you're poor, right? So it's got its problems for sure. And I would never, like somebody using that to get back at a content creator they're mad at, that's fucking bullshit. I'm not convinced that's what happened here, though. And I almost called you sus. If you're being honest here, I don't think you could, you can't conclude that 100%. We don't know. For all we know, the person could have just taken what Ethan said 100% seriously and said, those kids are in danger. I've got to do something, right? That's not the determination I made. I was pretty sure that Ethan was, playing up the situation for comedic effect, but I totally understand how somebody could hear that and think that he was 100% above board on that.
Was a single male. My friends would have kids, and I'm 38 now. My daughter's almost 1. I would have friends that would have kids, and I didn't really understand what they were doing, or hey, they can't hang out anymore, and they want to do this anymore. Man, you just watched that Coco Melon, man.
Hey, brother, I know. My sister always told me. We always had this joke where she'd be like, "Hey, Irene, you know what's always gonna be funny?" And I'd be like, "What?" And she'd be like, "Poop. It's always gonna be funny." Because we would laugh at poop jokes growing up, drive our mom crazy. Right? We never know why mom doesn't find the poop jokes funny, but she found out when she had kids, exactly why mom doesn't think the poop jokes are funny, because mom is cleaning up poop for a large portion of the day for many, for a year, for more than a year, right? And so I know, she should call me back, but she's got kids. I kind of understand when she doesn't. I would love to, talk to her more. I would love to, hear from her more. I understand how much more complicated her life. You don't have to be a parent to have compassion for someone who is a parent, to understand that how it complicates your life. I've got all the empathy in the world for you as a parent, Lus. I just don't see why you don't have like a little inkling of compassion for people that might have had nothing to do with the and very likely did have nothing to do with the CPS call, right? People that whose only offense, right, was that they're anti-Ethan. Just like I said, it's not right to call CPS or anything, law enforcement or whatever on Ethan just because you don't like the guy, right? Just because you disagree, even if you think that he's endorsing a genocide, it's not right. But it's also not right for you to sign off on the harassment, the doxing, and yeah, you know what can happen with harassment. We're talking about Kiwi Farm shit, and there's a reason why people should not play fast and loose with this kind of stuff, because it can have people get swatted, people could potentially get killed, right? This isn't something to fuck around with. I don't think that fucking around with calling the CPS on somebody because you don't like what they have to say about Palestine, is a good idea. And I also don't think this is a good idea. This is bullshit, Lewis, and you should be better than this. Right? You got children. You got a child. You got a whole nother generation that you're raising up. Please be better. And it's not me attacking your kids, Luce. That's me worrying about you, okay? It's nothing to do with your wonderful children. Your innocent children, right? This is you. Like to talk to some, like this a-hole to talk to someone like Matt Bender? Yeah.
You're not watching much. You're just sitting on some soft play, watching some Coco Melon, and those are your days, man. And they're not bad. That's just
Bernie Barbie or BKK says even after they're potty trained, you're still cleaning poop for from time to time. I know it. I definitely. I might have had there might have been an incident in kindergarten chat that
my average day.
My mom might have had to come and bring me an extra pair of clothing for that day.
Life really comes at you really fast. And I even if you look at Tyler
Ferris
1, I used
Bueller?
to watch him for League of Legends. He used to rage all the time. Now he has a daughter too, and he's
and hopefully his daughter will not turn him into a fucking Kiwi Farms endorsing asshole. Hopefully his daughter will not turn him into a supervillain, right? Somebody that loses themselves, gets lost in the sauce, and formerly very nice, moral person now is justifying shit that they never should. I really hope that is not the effect of having a child.
In my opinion, changed. I mean, he still has the same persona, but he's much softer and
what's he gonna do with the Reddit users info once he gets it? Well, he's making it out to be that he's gonna serve these people with a lawsuit, right? I happen to think that he doesn't have a case. In fact, I think he's said as much himself at various times, right? As far as I can't get my lawyer to do anything about these Redditors. So it's got the only other option is that to get them fucking doxed or mega doxed and harassed and fucked with and who knows what, swatted. I mean, how much is too much? With the H3 fandom that literally believes that these people are putting Ethan's family in danger. That shit's dangerous. They're not putting your family in danger. Quit claiming false valor, Ethan.
Persona performances, like actual interviews with people. So I do think that there is a point in time where a subpoena makes perfect sense. I think for Ethan Klein's specific example where they're coming after his family, or he's viewing it.
So you've maybe legitimized it, in your mind at least, for one person. Problem is, we don't know if that one person is even amongst all these people that he's trying to dox.
As they're coming after his family, a subpoena would make sense in that example. I think even for Adam, a subpoena would make sense for that because they're coming after his livelihood, his visa, his right to be in America.
Funny how Adam didn't need to dox anyone. Funny how Adam did not need to file any bullshit request for discovery. Funny how that works, right?
But
no, if you believe Ethan, it's because Ethan's being gang stalked. And everybody loves Adam and they hate Ethan. It's unfair, right? You're getting sucked into this guy's fucking persecution complex. What's wrong with you, Lus? Like, are you telling me if you had a client like this, you wouldn't be worried? I'd be worried. I'd be worried about my client's children, to be completely honest with you. I'd be worried about a lot of things.
Where's that line? Where do you draw that line? Because freedom of speech is so important in America. Like, you don't know.
Wait. What is this? Morbert says best plot twist ever. One of these snark mods is actually Gila. That would be a twist. That would be quite the twist.
China, you don't know what it's like in South Korea. There are so many countries that freedom of speech simply does not exist in its American form.
You should be happy for having freedom of speech so that you give it up when a rich guy gets mad at you. Do we have freedom of speech in the United States? Or does it depend, like a lot of things, on how much money that you have? How much freedom can your net worth buy?
Even in the UK, defamation laws, even in Australia, we saw Carl Jobs. His statements in America, he probably would have not lost that much money. I think he would still have lost. They're definitely defamatory statements, but it wouldn't have lost that massive amount of money that he would have lost, right? In my personal opinion, if he was an American citizen and they were an American court. So, where do we draw that line? I guess we are going to find out. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Bye, guys.